No matter where drug traffickers hide, they cannot escape the long arm of Indian law. Home Minister Amit Shah is serious and he is on a hunt for kingpins hiding outside India. His message comes after the return of the notorious cocaine mafia Virender Singh Basoya from UAE. The NCB has walked the talk by bringing back the fugitive from the Middle East. This is being described as another major milestone in the government's zero tolerance policy against narcotics. But who exactly is Basoya? Why was India hunting him? And how did Indian agencies manage to track him down after he allegedly fled the country? That is where the story gets significant. Virender Singh Basoya is described by Indian agencies as a major player in an international drug syndicate. His name emerged during a major narcotics investigation involving a massive quantity of drugs and alleged manufacturing operations. The scale of the case was enormous. Basoya was allegedly involved in a drug racket estimated at around 5,600 crore. Investigators also linked the case to the seizure of more than 2,000 kilograms of synthetic narcotic substance. Drug manufacturing facilities were also reportedly uncovered at different locations. For Indian agencies, this was not simply a case of catching drug carriers. The investigation pointed towards a much larger ecosystem: manufacturing, distribution, financing, logistics, and the people allegedly controlling the entire operation. Basoya was allegedly one of those key figures. But before investigators could get to him, he had already left India. As the investigation moved forward, Basoya allegedly fled India and moved into the Gulf region. That immediately transformed the case, because once an accused person crosses international borders, Indian agencies have to work through international cooperation and legal channels. A fugitive can leave India's jurisdiction, but the investigation does not necessarily end there. A lookout notice was issued against Basoya in October last year, and the agencies continued tracking his movements. The objective was not simply to locate him, it was to establish where he was, understand his network, and ultimately bring him back within the reach of Indian law. Then came the breakthrough. Basoya was traced in the United Arab Emirates, and after coordinated efforts by Indian agencies, his return to India was secured. That is precisely why Amit Shah is calling this a milestone. The operation involved more than one agency. The Narcotics Control Bureau was central to the investigation, but tracking a fugitive abroad requires coordination across agencies and international mechanisms. The CBI plays a key role in India's Interpol coordination. Other agencies can contribute intelligence, investigation inputs, and financial information. And this is where Amit Shah's reference to a top to bottom and bottom to top approach becomes important. Investigators can work upwards from the people directly involved in the drug trade, and they can work downwards from the alleged masterminds to identify their network. Who supplied the drugs? Who manufactured them? Who financed the operation? Who transported the narcotics? Who handled the money? And who was ultimately controlling the network? The objective is to connect all those dots. Because the drug trade is not just about narcotics, it is also about money. A massive illegal drug operation generates massive illegal profits, and those profits have to be removed, concealed, and ultimately converted into assets or legitimate looking funds. That is why financial investigation has become a crucial part of India's wider crackdown. The Enforcement Directorate and other agencies can investigate the financial trail connected to the suspected narcotics proceeds. The larger objective is to dismantle the ecosystem, because arresting one person may disrupt a network temporarily, but taking away its money, its suppliers, its logistics, and its leadership can strike at the structure itself. And that is the approach the government says it is pursuing. Basoya's return also comes at a time when Indian agencies are increasingly focusing on drug syndicates with international links. The narcotics trade does not respect borders. Drugs can be manufactured in one location, moved through another country, financed through another network, and eventually distributed in India. That makes international cooperation critical. And this is exactly where the government's message becomes clear. Fleeing India is no longer being presented as an escape route. A person can move abroad, but Indian agencies can continue to pursue the trail, and Basoya's extradition is now being held up as an example. So what happens next? Basoya is now back in India. The agencies will have the opportunity to question him and pursue the larger investigation. The bigger questions will be: who else was part of the alleged network? Where did the money go? Who financed the operation? Were there more manufacturing facilities? And are there other fugitives still operating from outside India? For Amit Shah and the government, the message is already clear. The fight against narcotics is no longer confined to Indian territory. It is a hunt that can cross borders, and the Basoya operation is being presented as proof that Indian agencies are willing to pursue drug traffickers wherever they hide. The warning from the Home Minister could not be clearer. You may be outside India, you may be hiding abroad, but you cannot outrun the long arm of Indian law. Virender Singh Basoya's return from the UAE is now the latest test and the latest milestone in that expanding war against India's drug networks. Thank you so much for watching. This is Ankit. You are watching Times Now Digital. Keep watching this space for more such videos.